Hello everyone. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Caitlin and welcome back. Today we are going to have another book on haul for you guys. As you may or may not know, my last book on haul I explained this, but I have not gotten rid of any of my books since like high school. So I just have like mass amounts of books in bins in my basement that have been sitting there waiting for me to relieve them of my presence. So we're gonna go through bin by bin, bag by bag, and remind myself of the books that are here and why I should be getting rid of them. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to my channel. If you don't, that's fine. Dislike the video, maybe leave a hate comment. Make sure it's creative. I don't want to see something basic as fuck, you know? Like, leave something creative, something that I'm gonna want to read, even though it roasts the shit out of me, you know? As my professors once said, all press is good press as long as you spell my name correctly, and that is Caitlin. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get a move on. So the first set of books that I have are in this planter pot because I had a stack of books and didn't know how to bring them up to my room because the lighting in my basement is absolutely horrendous. You know, I transferred them in this giant plant pot, so let's dive right in. First, we have Good Morning, Good Night by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't know where the dust jacket for this is, but I'm just not a huge poetry gal. I read through it once. It was fine. So I'll give it to someone else for them to enjoy. Next, we have Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. This is a book that I bought in high school. I have no idea what it's about. So I'm going to relieve this book from my presence. There's no reason for me to keep it on my shelf. And also, whenever I go to pick up a fantasy story, I'm not going to pick up YA. I think I've just moved out of that target demographic. Let's give this to someone who will enjoy it more than I. Next, we have Unwind, which is a part of a series by Neil Shusterman. I read it in high school and I remember enjoying it because I liked the prospect of being aborted at the age of 16. I don't know if anyone else did, but that was like my wet dream. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't really need it anymore. And yeah, maybe someone else will enjoy this. It's like dystopian series. Next, we have a set of books that people might not be too happy about, but that is A Court of Thorn and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury. I really don't like these books. I never got around to reading this one at all. With this one, tried reading it like 3 different times and never was able to finish it. I hated it so much. So we're just gonna move on, give this to someone else with the original covers. I'm not sure if people really like them. I know I really don't. Yeah, it's time for me to move on and get these out of my room because I get angry looking at them. And last, I'm not quite sure where the other books to this series are. So it's possible that I'm not going to be getting rid of these because I don't know where the other 2 are. And to be quite honest, in the future, when I have a big full bookshelf, I might want to see these as like a haha, remember these books moment. The last 2 books of the Twilight series, so we have Eclipse and Breaking Dawn. Can't tell you where the first 2 books are. I'm sure in another bin somewhere downstairs in my basement. I can't find them right now. But like I said, these might be on hold with all of my Jennifer L. Armentrout books because I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to give up the Twilight books yet, especially if I in the future have a larger library section in my room or in my house. Maybe I will put these up on a shelf. So we'll see. I will wait to get rid of these for just a little bit. Next, I'm going to move on to my next bag of books. And for this, we're going to start off with Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. And I'm not picking up YA very often, and I haven't heard much about this. Actually, that's probably a lie. I feel like I've heard a lot and then just like tuned it out. Like, I'm just not interested. So we'll give this to someone else. It's a nice hardback copy, never been read or touched before right now. Then we have the first of a couple Scott Westerfeld books, and that is the Leviathan Trilogy. So we have Leviathan, Behemoth, and Goliath. Now these, I feel like if someone makes a good case for them, it's possible that I could keep them. I just don't love the covers, and like I keep on mentioning, like a broken record, I'm not huge for like YA or middle grade. So if you can convince me that these books are just like iconic as fuck and I need to read them, then I'll read them. But for now, I'm gonna get rid of them. And I want them just out of my house and out of my life. And that's that. Next, we have another Scott Westerfeld, and that is Zeros. I have no idea what this is about. I don't read much dystopian anymore. I think it might be a dystopian. And I just, again, aged out of YA, personally. So we're gonna move on. 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. I have no idea what this book is about. I bought it because of the Russian architecture. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Next up, we have Strange the Dreamer by Lonnie Taylor. I have no interest in reading this book. It's too long, and I have too many other books on my TBR list that this just doesn't make it. And I don't know, I feel like there are very mixed reviews. And I just don't want to give my time to this book yet, or at all, really. So I'm going to pass it off to someone else. Next, we have what I believe is the Fallen Kingdoms series, by Morgan Rhodes. I only have the first 3 books. I don't feel like I need to explain myself anymore about the YA high fantasy. So I'm going to give this to someone else, and I hope someone can enjoy this. The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. I have no interest in reading these short stories, I believe. I have mentioned before, I'm on my wit's end with Cassandra Clare, so I am just going to get rid of books that I don't desire, and this I don't desire. And Cassandra Clare, you might see in an upcoming Unhaul, because I'm getting real tired of her bullshit. So, that's all I have to say. Then we have The Arithmetist by Brandon Sanderson, and I don't believe this is part of the Cosmere. It's a middle grade novel. I've heard it's good. If you can give me a really compelling argument as to why I should read this, I will read it. But even if I read it and enjoy it, I want the rest of my Brandon Sanderson to match the UK covers that I have behind me. I will be getting rid of this. The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, and I read this back in high school and just have no desire to continue on. And I know it's like TikTok popular, and someone will pick this book up because it's pretty and it's in good condition, and that's that. I just need to relieve it. I need to relieve it. It doesn't suit me anymore. Okay, so I have absolutely no idea what order these books go in, but there's a very good possibility that I won't be getting rid of these just because they are iconic in my mind. I love Damon Black as a wee high schooler, and if you recognize that name, besides being from Vampire Diaries, you will know that I'm talking about Lux, the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I was like trash for this trash alien series. I loved it. I was trash for these books. Also, we have Oblivion, which I don't think I ever ended up reading, but again, like, I was trash for this series. And they're signed, you know, they're signed by Miss JLA herself, because you saw in my last Unhaul, I've met her. So, I don't quite think I'm going to get rid of these, but they're in my Unhaul because I don't want them on my bookshelf space right now. I want them off. So, these will wait until the very last batch, and if I have space for them, they won't be going. Next, I'm not quite sure where the first book to this trilogy is, but some of you might be surprised, maybe not, because we had a Brandon Sanderson earlier in the Unhaul, but that is the Reckoners trilogy, and I know Steelheart is somewhere in my fuck ton of books that I have in my basement, but it's not here with me right now, and I absolutely regret it. But I will be getting rid of Fireflight and Calamity by Brandon Sanderson. I wasn't a huge fan of The Reckoners, the first one. If I'm reading Brandon Sanderson and it's not spot top notch, I want Cosmere, okay? Wax and Wane I'll read because like it's part of the Cosmere, a part of the bigger picture. This is not. So that therefore we'll be just passing these along to someone else, and I hope someone else enjoys them. Then, very similar situation. I don't know where my last book to this trilogy is, hidden somewhere in the mass amounts of books that I have, but we have Divergent and Insurgent by Veronica Roth. These were the books that really, unfortunately, got me into reading like a fiend. You know, we all read when we're taught to be literate, in the United States at least, and I, read here and there, but when I picked up Divergent, from then on is when I can tell a real shift in my reading habits to being like a true reader. And I can appreciate that from this trilogy, but not much else. So I'm going to be passing this off to someone else, and maybe another 13-year-old can devour these like I did. Next, we have a series that might make people angry. I don't really care because I don't really like it. And that is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Everyone loves The Raven Boys, and it's been getting like hype on TikTok recently. Not me. I am not a Raven Boys stan. So we have The Raven Boys, The Dream Thieves, and Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. And I'm going to give this to someone else because these are really beautiful, good condition, hardback editions of these books. People love them. So I'm going to pass these off, and someone is going to be real excited to get these books. And that's all I'm going to say. Right Behind You by Lisa Gardner. I know nothing about this book. I bought it in college when I was trying to re-spark my joy for reading, and I never read it. So I'm just going to get rid of it. And I'm not like a huge thriller gal, so pass this on to someone else. The Iron Trial by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. We've gone over. I'm tired of Cassandra Clare's writing. I'm tired of it. So I don't even remember what this is about. I know I read it, and we're going to pass it off to someone else who can really enjoy a cool middle grade book. And lastly, for this bag of books, we have The Lost Hero graphic novel by Rick Riordan. I don't really love graphic novels, and I've read the entire... I'm not going to read a graphic novel version. It's cool for someone who loves graphic novels and Percy Jackson to have on their shelf, so I'm going to be passing it along to someone who deserves it more than I. Now, this books, which I was going to bring to my local little library, and I was like, oh girl, you gotta film this in the Unhaul before you bring this to your local library, right? Your local little library, you know those little libraries. So we have the Grave Mercy trilogy, so that's Grave Mercy, Mortal Heart, and Dark Triumph by Robin Lefevers. Quite possibly there's a chance I'll keep this. Because I remember loving the first book and thinking it was badass. So maybe I'll reread them for like a video or something if that's something you're interested in. I'm gonna hold on to these for a little while just because we all love a badass assassin, and that is what these books are about. Next, we have the Mara Dyer trilogy, which might be really hard for me to get rid of, even though like it didn't age well and it's cringy now. I just remembered like I was obsessed with these in high school, absolutely obsessed. I don't know if I want to get rid of them because the covers are like iconic as fuck, and I adored this book series or this trilogy so much. Even though I know it didn't age well, right? I know that, but we all have our guilty pleasures. Right now, they're off my shelf. I don't want them on my shelf with all of the other books that I adore, but there's a possibility I won't be getting rid of these either. It's a good thing I went through them before I took it to the little bookshelf, and that is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, The Evolution of Mara Dyer, and The Retribution of Mara Dyer, all by Michelle Hodkin. All right, so that was 4 bags of books. I feel as though that really covered a whole lot for today. We still have bins and bins and bins more to go. I had more books, more bins of books for this video, but I think it's just getting a little too extensive. And you know, I want more videos for you guys. I want more unhauls for you guys. So we're gonna cut this off right there, and we'll give you another unhaul next week. Fuck yeah, guys, right? Right? So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, give my channel a subscribe. If you didn't enjoy this video, make sure to unlike my video, dislike it in fact, then make sure to leave a fucking creative ass hate comment. Because as my professors once said, all press is good press as long as you spell my name correctly, and that is Caitlin. Okay? I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week. I'll see you on Friday. Okay? All right. Bye. I hope you have a great day. That is that.